नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे नमो महावदन्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नामने गौरत्विषे नमः। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा। So where are we? What is it talking about? Translation we can read. So, what we have studied? Vidya Vinaya Sampanne Brahmane Gavihastini Shuni Chaiva Shapake Cha Pandita Samadarshina. What does that mean, Vaman? Open your Bhagavad Gita. Your Bhagavad Gita. Yes, Govinda. What does that mean? What is the topic we are discussing? Puts apart, marks apart. Avinamsh? आपल्याला वेळ दिला होता आतापर्यंत. थोडी चर्चा केली असते ना मागच्या क्लासमध्ये काय झालं, दुसऱ्यांच्या जीवनात काय झालं त्याची चर्चा आपण करतो. पण ॲटलीस्ट कमीत कमी 5 मिनिटं आपल्या क्लासमध्ये काय झालं त्याची चर्चा करू शकतो. So we were talking about knowledge and how a living entity is bewildered, and with the help of knowledge the bewilderment is completely eradicated, and the bewilderment will completely go when there is a presence of Krishna, who is like sun. You remember we discussed about this? The ignorance will be completely dispelled if as soon as the sun comes. And then we were discussing about how to see Krishna, or how to get liberated by focusing on Krishna. That was the topic we were discussing. And in that we saw that how a Pandita, a person who is knowledgeable, person who is full of knowledge about Krishna consciousness, he is Samadarshi. Samadarshi means what? He is equal, he has an equal vision. He is equal to everyone. So he is also, because with the knowledge he has become humble. Unfortunately, with the knowledge person becomes like a egoistic. But here Vidya Vinaya Sampanne, because of the Vidya knowledge, person is Vinaya. Person has Namrata. Vidya Vinaya Sampanne Brahmane Gavihastini. Then what he does? Brahman, cow, Hati, Hasti, dog, Brahmane Gavihastini, Shuni Chaiva Shvapakecha. And the dog, and who else? Dog eater. Shunichaya Shvapakecha. Shvapaka. This one is a dog eater. So even the Chandala, even the dog or Hathi, elephant or cow or a human being or a Brahmana, he sees everyone with the equal vision. He doesn't find any difference in them. Because of what? Because of knowledge. And because of knowledge, he is humble. Vidya Vinaya Sampanne. So this is very important. With the help of knowledge, we should become humble, or not proud of it. That's very important. And after seeing that, we also saw the Brahman platform. In that Brahman platform, Prabhupada in the purport explains about Brahman, Paramatma and Bhagavan. And Prabhupada also translates this Brahman as a supreme personality of Godhead. Okay. Then verse number 20, the self-realized soul, the symptoms of a self-realized soul. I think all these symptoms are seen in all of you. Okay, let's begin with verse number 20. न प्रहस्ये प्रीतम प्रियम प्राप्य नोद्विजेत प्राप्य चाप्रियम स्थिर बुद्धि सम्मूढ़ो ब्रह्मविद ब्रह्मणि स्थितः. A person who neither rejoices upon achieving something pleasant nor laments upon obtaining something unpleasant, who is self intelligent, who is unbewildered, and who knows the science of God, is already situated in transcendence. Okay, a person who neither rejoices upon achieving something pleasure. So, as soon as some service opportunity comes, अच्छीच लाव फक्त प्रेझेंट. मागच्या क्लासचा आम्ही बघून घेऊ. इज द रेकॉर्डिंग. A person who neither rejoices upon achieving something pleasant nor laments upon obtaining something unpleasant. So this is also a verse for dvandva. Like we saw sukheshu sukheshu vigataspra, dukheshu anidignamana. When there is nothing, he loses something. When there is misery, he is not extra sad, overly like dukheshu anivig. Mind is not completely disturbed and too much disturbed. And when there is happiness, he is not over rejoicing. So this is what same thing is mentioned here, that who neither rejoices upon achieving something pleasant nor laments upon obtaining something unpleasant. So there is Karela, he doesn't become sad, and as soon as there is Rabdi, he doesn't over rejoices to make you easy to. If in the breakfast there is khichdi, अरे वापस खिचड़ी आ गया, and then there is uttapa, and then you are like over, yes, uttapa. So he is, again, this is the same thing which we also previously also saw, that he is samadarshi, he is equal in all these things. Okay. Who is self-intelligent? That is another quality, the symptom of a steady mind, that he is self-intelligent. What does that mean? What is your understanding of this self-intelligent?
He can differentiate between what is good for him and what is bad for him.
Okay, what is good for him and what is bad for him, he can differentiate. Okay, anything else?
Or if we are talking about a devotee, then how the Lord can be pleased would be his vision, and what would be the way. So he can think in that way and in that direction. So that is what how he can implement his self-intelligence to please the
Okay,
Lord.
okay. He is very clear about what to do, what not to do, or he is very clear about what is wrong, what is right. Okay, anything else? Good. Here, the word is used here as a sthira buddhi. The self-intelligent means stable. His intelligence is very stable. His intelligence is not, today he is at Premanand Maharaj, tomorrow is hearing Astralaya, Australia, Anand, Aniruddha Maharaj, or tomorrow, day after tomorrow, he is coming and hearing Prabhupada class and becoming, yes, 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 Krishna consciousness is all in all. Or and then he's hearing Socrates, and then he's hearing some other philosophers from other world of the, and then suddenly he gets inspired by the Abrahamic, the philosophy, the commandments, and this and that. So he's not a sthira buddhi. He is unsteady mind. But a person who is fixed mind is a self-intelligent person. That's why the word Sanskrit word used here is a sthira buddhi. That he has a fixed intelligence. So we have to achieve this particular state of being sthira buddhi, and that can be attained with faith, shraddha, and that shraddha associated with the devotees will become nishtha eventually. So shraddha, then sadhu sangha, bhajana kriya, anartha nivritti, and then comes the level of nishtha. So where the faith is also steady, our intelligence is also steady. So that's why regularly reading, hearing the scriptures is a very important to make our intelligence fixed. And once buddhi is sthira, his mind is also controlled. If buddhi is not sthira, then today is though the mind is, the body is sitting here, but mind is focusing on something else. Somebody is thinking about house, somebody is thinking about anything. so, so Sthira Buddhi means whose mind is strong, whose intelligence is strong. And you should remember the chariot analogy for this. The chariot analogy, horses are what? Govinda? Senses. Loud enough. You know it. And who is the chariot driver? Super soul. Super soul does not sit on the chariot. Soul is the passenger, Baba. Who is the chariot driver? Your chariot driver is always moving,
Intelligence.
but it is intelligence. It should be intelligence. And the reins, that is those ropes in the hand of a chariot driver, is mind. So, if the ropes are not controlled, if ropes are not completely controlled, the horses will not be controlled. And who is supposed to control the ropes? That is the chariot driver, that is intelligence. And that's why that intelligence has to be steady, fixed. And that's why this word sthira buddhi is very, very important. Okay? And then only a passenger who is going through a life will not go through crisis. And that same passenger will be very steady. And because of his steady intelligence, even if he gets 1 CR at this moment, it's okay, fine. That's mercy of Krishna. And even if he loses 1 CR, he says, okay, fine, that is mercy of Krishna. That's what Prabhupada did. Prabhupada had a factory. Prabhupada said, I used to have a drug factory. Very funny thing. Once the Sham Sundar Prabhu was caught, before coming to Krishna Consciousness, he was caught for taking drugs. And then he was released, but then again police came and police put him in jail. And then after some time he behaved very nicely and he was chanting Hare Krishna, so he was released soon because there is transformation. And then he came to Prabhupada and he was talking to Prabhupada. He was very sad about it. He said, Swamiji, we are sorry. Please forgive us. Prabhupada said, why they put you in jail? He said, that's what Shamsundar Prabhu said, I was caught selling drugs. Prabhupada said, I also used to sell drugs. So that British English drugs is not the drugs what we understand. It is medicine. Prabhupada had a medicine factory, that is drugs factory. And then Prabhupada used to sell drugs. That means sell medicines. And then that factory in Allahabad got fired. And then it completely burned to ashes. And then Prabhupada was seeing that, and Prabhupada was saying that, oh, it is the mercy of Hari. He has taken away everything from me. He wants to make me renounce. He wants me to follow the instruction of my spiritual master. That was the mood. So, sthira buddhi, or one who is composed, or one who is sthita dhira muni, is understood through this. So, a symptom of a self-realized person. So, Prabhupada was that self-realized person who was steady. Like Prabhupada, when he was sitting in a park, one conductor came and sat next to Prabhupada and said, Swamiji, what is your mission? Prabhupada said, my mission, I have 108 temples. I have 10,000 followers. And this conductor is looking, there is nobody ahead anywhere with Prabhupada. But then after 11 years, Prabhupada had 10,000 followers and 108 temples. So, when he had 108 temples and 10,000 followers, he was same when he met that conductor, or when he was preaching in India, or when he met his spiritual master first time. So that is a self-realized person who does not over-rejoices or over-sad. And we have to come to this level. How can we come to this level? By being self-realized. The science of self-realization should be understood. Then unbewildered, because of the sthira buddhi, he is not bewildered. So many times in life we are so much bewildered. Any small illusion bewilders us so much. Any small desire to enjoy this material world bewilders us so much. We don't realize कि ये मुझे इतना bewilder करते जा रहा है. And the biggest bewilderment is your mobile and the reels. Those reels are giving me happiness, and then we go on watching the reels for hours and hours together. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. And that is such a bewilderment that we don't realize that 2 hours are gone. Our most important sleep in the night is gone. We don't realize it. 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, and then just scrolling. One after another, few seconds enjoyment. Not even enjoyment, not even learning, but still some entertainment is making us That hook is, that bewilderment is so much that we are thinking इससे मुझे आनंद मिल रहा है. And after 2 hours, your eyes are red hot, your head is aching, your body is spinning. Yes, I was shocked to see that one boy in the hospital, 1.5 hours, that boy was carrying that mobile. He was all the time like this. He will surely, within 6 months, he'll have this spondylitis or cervical problem and this and that. So, point is that we are inviting so many problems with this bewilderment. It may be a mobile, it may be a woman, it may be money, it may be, any other thing. It may be an illusion that I am very beautiful. I'm handling one case recently that he thinks that he is beautiful, and then he thinks that he can be actor, and he's thinking that and then he's endeavoring for that. He's going to gym, eating different varieties of things, and he's not actually, but he's completely bewildered. He's not fit for that, and he's a shy guy, but thinks that one day I'll become outspoken and I can present and this and that. So you can think about the bewilderment in your own life. There are so many bewildering things which are putting us in illusion. And sometimes in the name of a devotee, in the name of a devotee association also, we may get bewildered. So, am I doing this thing for the pleasure of Krishna, or am I doing this thing for my pleasure, is a very important thing. If you really want to differentiate, if you really want to come out of the bewilderment, ask this question, will this please my spiritual master and Krishna? You will be out of bewilderment. Simple question, will this please my spiritual master and Krishna? This is the simplest question you have to ask. Answer is there. With whom I'm associating, with whom what I'm liking, what I'm watching, what I'm eating, what I'm talking. We don't realize where I'm talking, how I'm behaving. Somebody came to me and said to me that, Prabhu, you should teach your boys etiquettes. Your boys hardly know any etiquettes. So I said, okay, fine, I understand. And then after that we had a yatra, and then I saw very special etiquettes and the divine loving exchanges between the devotees. And in that divine loving exchanges, I understood, yes, I was in the bewilderment, I was in illusion that no, these are the boys trained by me for so many months and years together, and they are so much on the right path. And these boys staying in Pune city and doing practicing and wanting to have initiated, some of them are initiated, wanting to come and render services, so much. But my bewilderment was completely washed away. You are not different. Don't. So the point is, anyways, if I have to get into a topic and the discussion, then examples, I can get into every individuals or every difference. But point is, actually we are into a bewilderment. It can be a bewilderment of a chair also. That yes, today I have become in charge for Sankirtan, or today I have become in charge for this position, that position, and now you see that the whole Pune is bewildered completely. There are seats, there are hardly some 200, 300 seats, but 5,000 people are aspiring to hold that chair of Nagar Sevak or whatever. And there is so much of bewilderment. Everybody is thinking I am the king. And then he goes with the folded hand that please give me, please, आपकी सेवा करने का opportunity दो. And then he is sitting here, मैं राजा हूँ. So much bewilderment. So because of the chair there can be bewildered, because of the position there can be bewildered, because of the money, so much of bewilderment can happen. Little money comes and then a person becomes so puffed up and proud, and then he does not understand what he does, what he is doing, how is he behaving. So the bewilderment is a Maya's weapon. She always bewilders us with her, some like मछुआरे का देखा होगा ना आपने. What he does that fishing करने के लिए जाता है, and then he puts the net, and then he puts some food. Or you must have seen typical those fishermen doing fishing. What they do, they put a hook, and then to that hook they attach some some food stuff to it, and then that is another example I'll tell you. So this machli, she comes, and she's taken out of the water, she's suffocated, she's knowing that I am going to die, but then she doesn't leave that particular thing. She is like holding Ani, but at the same time this will give me happiness. There is a nice example. Can you put a projector on and share on the group also? I'll just share something. तुला व्हॉट्सअपवर पाठवलं तेवढं शेअर करतो ग्रुपमध्ये. ग्रुपमध्ये नाही, याच्यावरती स्क्रीन शेअर कर. There's one example. In African countries, they catch monkeys. And how do they catch the monkeys? You must have seen that video sometime. I was just looking for that video also. What they do, they have special clay pot. In that clay pot, they put chana. And then the monkey, he goes and he puts the hand inside that pot. And then, वो पूरा मुट्ठी भर के पकड़ लेता है. And then when he's trying to take out, the pot's mouth is so small that, he cannot take out his hand. And then, for a long time he's trying to take out, that pot is tied to a tree. And then, he's not able to take out, he's shouting. And then easily a hunter comes and catches that monkey. अभी क्या करना है उसको? What happened? What is this? What that monkey has to do, he has to just release his hand, throw away all the chanas and take out. But then what he does that, and he's not ready to leave the chana also. He knows that मैं पकड़ने वाला हूँ, मुझे बांधेंगे, मुझे सर्कस में डालेंगे, जो कुछ भी है. But still he's not ready to release the hand only for what? Few chana. And then after that, for whole life he has to become a slave. Similarly, a man for the momentary pleasure becomes a slave of a woman. So this is a bewilderment in this world. No laugh, no smile. That was not for us. Host. Asammudha is the word which is used here, that a person is asammudha, that he is not murkha, he is not bewildered. Sammudha. Where is this word come, sammudha? Anywhere else go? In Bhagavad Gita? Where? Sammudha is the word which comes. Write down, this is homework.
म्हणजे सेकंड चॅप्टर मध्ये येतो का?
You have to search. एवढंच मोठं नाही होणार. Okay, can you all see this now? So this is a person who was in jungle, and in the jungle there was a tiger which started running behind him, or this mad elephant. In fact, mad elephant started running behind him, and then somehow he thought the elephant will not be able to climb the tree. He went to the tree and then he caught hold of this branch. But as soon as he caught hold of the branch, he saw that there is a well down. Okay, and then he saw the well down and there were poisonous snake. So he was extremely careful that he should not fall into the well. So he was somehow catching hold of that branch. But then he saw that there is this mad elephant who is going to uproot the whole tree and is going to throw me. I'll surely fall into the well and I'll die. Or if I fall outside, this mad elephant is going to crush me. And then he suddenly saw there are these two rats, one black rat and a white rat. You see these two rats? They started eating that branch. And it's surely soon that branch is going to get cut off and then he's going to fall. And then suddenly there was the presence of Lord Vishnu. He comes there and he says, "Oh, give me hand. I will protect you." And at the same time, what is happening on the other branch of the tree, there is a honeycomb. And then from that honeycomb, there is honey dripping. Tup, tup, tup. And where it is exactly dripping? It is exactly dripping on his tongue. And in all these things, he's thinking, oh, this honey is giving me so much pleasure. And then he's taking out his tongue, 1 kilometer out, and licking this honey and getting pleasure from drinking that honey. And he's thinking, anyways, the death is going to come. He's knowing the philosophy. जिसका जन्म हुआ है वो मरने वाला ही है. I mean, he's going to die. So what a dying person should do is the philosophy that he should enjoy this honey, which is very sweet. So the explanation given is that these black and white rats are nothing but the day and night. The day and night is passing. That means the time is coming close to the death. Everybody knows that death can come at any time. The time is coming very close. So this is a death. This honey is a sense gratification. It's a momentary pleasure. And these snakes are nothing but a kala. They are deadly snakes. As soon as he falls into the well, he is going to die. So kala is that Krishna says, I am time. Kalosmi. Or the kala is inevitable time, which is death. So death is waiting in the form of these snakes or this mad elephant who is going to crush him. So point is that the death is so close to him, but this honey is bewildering him so much that he thinks that yes, this honey is going to give me a lot of pleasure. And that is what is happening in our life. This bewilderment is putting in such a situation that we are thinking that this sense gratification is going to give me pleasure. What happened? I hope you are hearing the class also. What is the verse? What is the translation?
Bewildered by the modes of a material nature, the ignorant fully engage themselves in the material activities and become attached, but the wise should not unsettle them, although these duties are inferior due to the performance or a lack of knowledge.
Okay. So the bewilderment is because of lack of knowledge and because of the influence of the three modes of material nature. Okay, so please always remember this picture, and this is happening with us on a day-to-day basis. We are thinking that this food stuff is going to give me happiness, money is going to give happiness, the opposite sex is going to give me happiness, my own friends are going to give me happiness, but this is all a momentary pleasure. The rats, black and white, day and night is attacking on us. We are going to die. So we have to come out of the bewilderment, and the symptom of a self-realized person he is asammudha, that he is unbewildered. The next, and who knows the science of God is already situated in trance. Another thing is that he knows the science of God. He is a Brahmavida. Brahmavida is science of God. He is knowledgeable. And knowledgeable, just not knowledgeable about anything and everything, mainly about the science of God. That is Krishna consciousness. So that's why this knowledge, study of Bhakti Shastri is very important. So if you go a reverse, because of the knowledge of God, he is unbewildered. Because he is unbewildered, he has a sthira buddhi, and because of sthira buddhi, he is equipoised. That he is neither over rejoicing, neither is sad. Okay? Verse number 21. बाह्यस्पर्शेषु असक्ताम विन्दयात्मनि यत् सुखम स ब्रह्मयोगयुक्तात्मा सुखम शयम श्रुते अश्नुते. Such a liberated person is not attached to the material sense pleasure, but is always in trance, enjoying the pleasure within. In this way, the self-realized person enjoys unlimited happiness, for he concentrates on Supreme. So, he is the one who's, we saw the 5 qualities in the previous verse. Now, the remaining qualities, he is situated in transcendence. Because of Brahmavida, because of the knowledge about God, he is situated always in transcendence. Brahmachari means what? What is the meaning of brahmachari? ब्रह्मे चरति इति ब्रह्मचारी, जो ब्रह्म में चरण करता है. तो ब्रह्म में चरण करना मतलब ही इज ऑलवेज इन ट्रांसेंडेंस. His thought process, his walk, his talk, everything is in about Brahman, that is absolute truth. Then his asaktam, sorry, asaktatma is the word which come here. So he is unattached to the material pleasures. He is not attached to the material pleasures. Asakta Atma. So though there are material pleasures available, he does not become attached to it. That's very important. And what does he do that for that? He knows that this is all given by Krishna and this belongs to Krishna. Like, we brahmacharis are always taught that, you see a woman, we should not become asakta to the woman, and we should always think that she is a gopi of Krishna. She is to be enjoyed by Krishna, not by us. So that should be our mood. So there are so many material pleasures available, money is available, car is available, so many things are available, but that is not for us. Like I give this example of a driver of Ambani. Driver of Ambani, know that example? What? Driver of Ambani is taking Ambani around everywhere, he is going around, and Ambani is telling that, switch on the AC, put on the music, let's go to Lonavala. So he is enjoying all of this. And then next day this driver said that, today not Ambani, my wife, I'll take her on tour. And then without telling Ambani, he takes his Lamborghini and then moves out, and then takes a wife and children on a tour. Before he reaches Lonavala, who will catch him? Police. And then he'll be behind bar. That is exactly our situation. Being a servant of Krishna, we'll get all the pleasures. But as soon as we think that this belongs to me and we start enjoying it, we are trapped into a trouble. That's what we saw about the definition of akarma also. Performing activity for the pleasure of Krishna does not bring any reaction. But as soon as that activity is performed for our own sense gratification, there is a reaction to it. Similarly, as soon as we become attached to what we possess, what is given to us by Krishna, we become attached, and attachment leads to a trouble. It leads to misery. And that's why we should always say, this is in care of me. ICO Kaustubh Das, that's what we write. What does that mean? In care of. So this is in care of. But then unfortunately what happens is that, as soon as we start enjoying, like a woman, a man enjoys a woman, and when he is physically intimate with her, he thinks that I am the enjoyer, I am the proprietor, I am the controller of this particular personality, body. And because of this mood, he says that I am the controller, I am the enjoyer. He will never understand that this is in care of me. This does not belong to me. And that mood has to be developed. That's very, very important. It won't come immediately, but slowly, after studying this knowledge, it will come to us. Whatever possessions we have, it can be Aishwarya, it can be money, it can be beauty, it can be intelligence, it can be whatever Aishwarya in very small quantity. Actually, what we have is a very small, little quantity, insignificant. Because the insignificant jiva thinks that I'm so big. Like our Vrindavan Chandra had some gold, and then we melted that gold, and then that gold we are applying on the doors. If you see, there is a painting going on, and there will be gold applied. So we were just calculating the total gold required for all three doors and other part is half kg. So what is the cost of half kg? It's 65,60,000 is the cost of half kg gold, which will be apart from that whatever majuri that is going. So I was just thinking, what we have is few grams, and then we become attached to that few grams, or few half kg or 1 kg, or some country may have in tons, but that is also insignificant in front of the opulence of Krishna. But then we become attached to it. We say that ye mera hai, and as soon as you say mera hai, because of that attachment, there is fight, there is quarrel, there is hypocrisy, there is cheating. As soon as it does not belong to me, ये मेरा नहीं है, it is in care of me. मैं कौन हूँ? जैसे प्यून रहता है या नौकर रहता है रास्ते में sitting, he does not own that house. What he says, it is in care of me. I am not the owner of this. So he is peaceful, he is also relaxed, and he performs his duty properly. So we have to be free of anxiety, we have to develop this mood that this particular thing does not belong to me. So for that we need to be in transcendence and unattached to the material pleasures. So this is about the property and the belongings. Otherwise also there are so many material pleasures we derive from different things, especially through the body. Here the word is used bahya sparshe. Bahya sparsheshva asakta. So bahya sparsha, that is because of the, to literally meaning is the sense sparsha, touch, and the touch is towards the opposite sex, and because of that touch person becomes extremely attached to that opposite sex, and then extreme attachment leads to a bewilderment, and that leads to a unsteady mind, and that leads to a disturbed situation everywhere. So this verse, or what is the second chapter verse on sparsha, matra sparshastu kaunteya, there also the acharyas give this meaning. This sparsha is a very bewildering thing, and that's why to be steady devotee of Krishna, situated in transcendence, we also have to come out of this attachment to opposite sex also. That's very, very important. If you heard today's Bhagavatam class, it was all about it. It was all around this topic of sparsha to opposite sex. Prabhuji gave a very interesting example. You should grow up. Once you grow up, then you don't behave like a neophyte devotee. नए भक्तों के जैसा नहीं करते हो. जैसे एक नया छोटा बच्चा रहता है तो उसको डायपर पहनाया जाता है, वो बड़ा होता है तो भी डायपर पहनाते क्या, उसको डायपर पहना के घुमाएंगे कि. So you cannot do the same activities what in a neophyte situation we used to do. We used to make quarrel, we used to become lusty, we used to become greedy, we used to do all gross things. We should come out of the gross things, grow in Krishna consciousness. After spending some years, we have to have that steadiness, unattached to the sense pleasure. That quality has to be developed. That's very important. Otherwise, we commit the mistake after 30 years, the similar kind of mistake. Or sometimes even we have not done that mistake. After 30 years also, we are doing the same mistake. That's like wearing a diaper after, we are 30-year-old. You're going with a diaper everywhere. Project examples interesting रहते हैं. Okay. And the next quality is his Akshaya Sukham, enjoys pleasure within, and realizing Paramatma is the. So Akshaya Sukham is also called as the Atma Rama. The self-realized person, as Krishna is called as Atma Ram, similarly a self-realized person is also called as Atma Ram. He enjoys pleasure within. He doesn't need any external support, external entity to give him pleasure. For him, Krishna consciousness is the pleasure. He's so happy practicing Krishna consciousness that all the material changes around him does not either give him pleasure, neither give him disturbance. If he has a lot of opulence or a lot of followers, that does not give him so much pleasure. At the same time, if he loses, then also he is not bewildered. And we saw the example of Prabhupada. Prabhupada had thousands of followers. That time also Prabhupada was the same. And when he had no followers, that time also he was same. And that's why at the end, when Prabhupada's godbrother came to meet Prabhupada, they asked Prabhupada, Swamiji, kono ichha? Do you have any desire? Prabhupada said, kono ichha nahi. He was so free from all the material desires or any achievement, nothing. He said, whatever I was supposed to do, I did it. And that's why he is an acharya who is bhuto na bhavishyati. Neither in the past such acharya came, neither in the future somebody will come like this. That's why he was Senapati Bhakta, who came for a special purpose, and he did his purpose, and after that he was not at all attached to anything. Prabhupada's son came once to Vrindavan, and he was arguing with devotees. He spoke to Tamal Krishna Maharaj, and he was telling Tamal Krishna Maharaj, my father went to foreign countries, he was on a business tour, and he has done a business, and in part of a business he has established these temples and so much property is on. I should get at least half of it. So a person who is attached to his own sense gratification or his properties, though his son is his own property, and because of the attachment, Prabhupada would have said, oh, my son has come. And then, situation at the home is not very favorable, they were quite, average middle class family. That was the situation. And, the son thought, I will get half of the property, I'll get so much of opulence. My father is to give. But then Prabhupada said, what was the reaction of Prabhupada? Prabhupada said, go and tell him that this property belongs to a devotee, whoever is a part of ISKCON. Not even a single rupee can go to my family. Everything belongs to the member of this ISKCON movement. So whoever comes to ISKCON is the owner of the property of ISKCON. And that's why there is no specific person who is owning this property. The institute has this particular thing, and whoever is coming, whoever is rendering services, whoever is surrendering, voluntarily coming, gets the opportunity to render a service and to take the carry forward the movement. So that's why we have so many volunteers who are carrying this movement ahead. There is nothing who is owning something, but still so many people are carrying because of this Prabhupada's mode. So the person is unattached to the material pleasure, and he is Atma Rama. That means he enjoys himself within. So he is so much self-realized that he knows I am not this body, I am soul very well. And being a soul, my sambandha is with Krishna. I have to establish that sambandha, or he has established that sambandha with Krishna. And because of that establishment of such sambandha with Krishna, he is unattached. Param Pujya Gopal Krishna Maharaj, you should read his will. And you should read his last 10 instructions which he has given to everyone to follow. Amazing. The best example of Atma Rama, who is unattached. He could have said, my dear disciple I will give to him. This particular disciple is dear. This particular project is dear to me. Nothing. Yes, he had so much opulence. But he was neither attached to any of this opulence, and he was so much self-realized. After Maharaj's departure, so many glories came out. And then we realize that we have lost such an important person from our life. So the point is, the Atma Rama person is like this, a person who is happy in himself. And then we have to reach to this situation, which is very, very important. Otherwise, our life is useless. Our the day-to-day lifestyle, our work, our money, what all achievements one can have. Somebody can have, big vehicle, big bungalow, every opulence, whatever he desires, he will have. But at the end of the life, what he is not going to enjoy. Somebody sent me this thing, one video clip. I don't know who is that sannyasi. I think he's from Gaudiya Math, but he's famous on YouTube, on sannyasi. He's so young. He's 50, 55 year old, I think. See, he's saying that when you are 50-year-old, then your people will not be so much of your help. And once you are 70-year-old, your money will also not help you. That you may have lakhs and crores of rupees, but then you have to take 100 rupees pills on a day-to-day basis, and somehow jivan katna padega. And once you are, you may have big bungalow, mansions or something like that, but you will find that painful once you are 80, because you cannot walk from one room to another room. And so it's a burden. Why I have this thing? So in this life only we will find everything burden, everything troublesome. We cannot use it, we cannot enjoy it. And then at the time of death, we really have to leave everything. So what we can carry is Krishna consciousness. And that's why our focus on every moment of our life is Krishna consciousness. With that, whatever achievements by the grace of Krishna is coming, we enjoy it. No problem. Like the example of Ambani's driver is that when he's traveling with Ambani, he's enjoying all the facilities. He's enjoying AC, he's enjoying music, he's enjoying the tour from one place to another place, all those things. With the service to Ambani, he's doing that. So in the service to Krishna, Govinda, we have to enjoy. And then we have to enjoy, but whatever enjoyment comes, we'll enjoy. So we have a devotee circle, and in that we have some fun. Or we get nice prasad to eat. So our tongue is satisfied, our ears are satisfied with the music. Or whatever legalized grahastha ashram rules and regulation with the opposite sex, that is also understood. Okay, fine, that pleasure also you want, you get with the proper rules and regulations, and we follow it. Or whatever you say. So under the boundary, inside the boundary of Krishna consciousness, being a servant of Krishna, we can enjoy. But ultimately, we have to come out of all these things, unattached to all these things, and reach to a level of self-realized person who is happy in satisfying self. When I say satisfying self, it is satisfaction of the soul. Nothing to do with this mind, false ego, or this body or senses. It is satisfaction of the soul. Like we give this example of a cage and a parrot. The parrot is satisfied, then there is a use of this cage, or we just decorate the cage, or we so put this pearls and rubies and whatever things on the cage and polish the cage. That's not going to satisfy the soul. Soul needs a food. So eventually that parrot is happy eating mirchi or goa. Similarly, the soul is satisfied by practicing Krishna consciousness. So situate yourself in the transcendence, becoming knower of the science of God is very, very important. Okay? Any question?
Two 2.7 Sammuda.
Yes, boliye.
2.7 verse, that word which you told.
Krupana, in the word of Krupana also this comes, right? Arjuna is saying that I am completely bewildered. Karpanya dosho swahata swabhava prushyami tvam dharma samudha chetah. In this samudha comes. Okay, let's go to verse number 22nd then. Purport, last few lines. A person in Brahma Yoga or Krishna consciousness is so absorbed in the loving service of the Lord that he loses his taste for material sense pleasure altogether. The highest pleasure in terms of a matter is sex pleasure. The whole world is moving under its spell, and a materialist cannot work at all without this motivation. Very, very thoughtful. You can think the whole world is running around. लोग बोलते पापी पेट का सवाल है. But it's not पापी पेट का सवाल. The motivation is just a material sex pleasure. The sex pleasure is dragging everyone. And for that, people are working hard like anything. दिन की डाकिनी, रात की बागिनी, पल पल लहू चूसे. So much. But a person engaged in Krishna consciousness can work with a great vigor without sex pleasure, which he avoids. That is the taste in spiritual realization. Spiritual realization and sex pleasure go ill together. Spiritual realization and sex pleasure go ill together. They does not go together. A Krishna conscious person is not attached to any kind of sense pleasure due to his being liberated soul. So all self-realized souls sitting in front of me, please check this is a checklist. Sometimes we may be in the bewilderment of this also, that I am almost on the verge of becoming a self-realized soul. Just, idhar hi hu main. Now Vaikuntha aeroplane is just going to land for me. I only told that let me stay in this material world for some time. So this can be a bewildering thing. So if at all this thought comes to our mind that मैं pure devotee बन ही चुका हूँ, we can just go through this checklist. Okay, so what are those 8 qualities? Does not rejoice something pleasant, does not lament for something unpleasant. Third, fixed intelligence, sthira buddhi. Fourth is unbewildered, is asammudha. Then fifth is knowledge of the science of God, Brahma Vida. He is in knowledge of the science of the God. Then sixth is situated in transcendence. He is always situated in transcendence. Then seventh is unattached to material pleasure, asaktatma. And seventh is enjoys pleasure within, akshayam sukha, realizing Paramatma. And he is also called, you can call him as a Atma Rama. Okay. The symptoms of a self-realized person. Verse number 22. ये ही संस्पर्श जा भोजा, ये ही संस्पर्श जा भोगा, दुःखयोनेव एव ते. आद्यंतवंत कौंतेय नतेषु रमते बुधा. So these two lines are there. We have to choose which one we want. First line says, ये ही संस्पर्शजा भोगा दुःख योनेव एवते. And second line says, हे कौंतेय आद्यंतवंत कौंतेय नतेषु रमते बुधा. Understood? First line says, ये ही संस्पर्शजा भोगा. This sparsha is material sex pleasure or any material pleasure, material enjoyment. Dukkha yoneva evate. It leads to misery. It gives you trouble. Any experience soul here? All. We have gone through this attraction towards, and because of that attraction we tried close, and then we got a lot of pain. This donkey, when he wants to have a sex enjoyment with the she donkey, he goes close to her, he's trying to propose her, allure her, whatever, and then she turns around and gives a strong kick, and after getting multiple kicks, then she allows, okay, fine, enjoy. So this kind of kicks, many people go through in their life, and then after going through all those kicks, ehi samsparshaja bhoga, for the enjoyment of that sparsha, dukkha yoreva yate, he has to go through so many miseries. And the second line says, adyantavanta kaunteya nateshu ramate buddha. One who is self-realized, one who is sthira buddhi, buddha, nateshu ramate, he does not take pleasure in this. He does not rejoices, he does not enjoy in this. So it's in our hand where we want to land up. We want those kicks or we want to be steady. Attached nahi and sukh bhogna, this is just not possible. For that you have to be self-realized first of all. He will be attached to the activity of sex. And so the activity of sex will lead to so much of take. So here what is focus is about that activity, and that activity will once upon a time will surely, you may not be attached to one person, but you will be attached to that activity, and that activity will lead you to misery, because multiple places there can be diseases, there can be any harm to your own body or harm to somebody else's body, and as soon as you get into a material enjoyment, there is attachment to something or somewhere. Loss of money, loss of energy, loss of health, so many things will happen, and that will surely lead to misery. That is the calculation of this world. You try to enjoy, there is going to be misery. You may not be attached in that particular one person, but attachment to enjoyment is going to lead you to misery. So here it is said, ehi samsparshaja bhoga. It is not said that, Krishna is not mentioning that Ojasvi going attached to XYZ girl. He is talking about samsparshaja bhoga. That activity of sparsha will lead to misery. Dukkha yoneva evate. It is for sure he is going to get misery. And you should show me a one person who is not miserable, who is attached. Don't have to go and find out a person. Don't have to. You have gone through misery, sir. Because you got attached to something else, and that's why that attachment found it happened to be a lower attachment. It's not so much painful, but not so much. It's okay because we got to attachment, some other attachment, other higher material places. Forcefully attachment करवा रहे. See, living entity को ना, जो बुद्धिमान व्यक्ति है ना, उसको कोई किसी चीज का फोर्स नहीं कर सकता है. हाँ वही बोल रहे हैं. हाँ, so like somebody who doesn't want to get married and is forced. I know some people who doesn't want to get married, but they get they are forced to marry. And in that force of marriage, I again by Krishna's arrangement, for my learning, so many cases comes to me. I am handling one case like that. That boy is never interested in marriage, but then happened to marry. And then because of the marriage, he doesn't know how to handle a girl. And then because of that girl, she complains to me, प्रभु जी ऐसा करता है, वैसा करता है, इसको समझता ही नहीं, ये नहीं है, वो नहीं है, उसको समझाओ. And then my my bad luck, my bad luck that I have to go and explain. Being a brahmachari, I have to go and explain that how you should handle a wife, and then so in this his choice first of all to get married. If somebody is forcing, still he is getting carried away. His choice is wrong. He is disturbing his own life, he is disturbing other few people's life, which is wrong. So we have to be intelligent enough to choose. That's very important. You cannot blame others saying that इन्होंने force किया था. Ultimately choice. Like now he is not there, so I can say that there was one case where he chose a wrong career, and after choosing a wrong career, he understood after 3 years that he should not be here. And then for some time he said that because of this person who wanted me to detach and who wanted to be a brahmachari, and he guided me wrongly, and that's why I'm here. And then he started cursing him, but now he's realizing, no, Prabhuji, I don't say that he's wrong. I now understand that was my choice. I choose to do that particular thing. I may got some influence, guidance, or something like that. And that's why in life, from whom to get influence is very important thing. We should actually check. Sometimes somebody is a steady mind, but because of some association, he is like bachkane harkat karta hai, he's childish, he doesn't know what is right, what is wrong, he's speaking anything nonsense. So many times it happens. He comes down because of that association and because of that influence. And when that influence, he should take a person up, but then unfortunately वो नीचे लेके आता है. Or so many times such influences are around us where you are suddenly told to be renounced. Our Prabhus have gone through it. That Prabhu, brahmachari life is all in all, you should get into it. And then you could, I'm completely surrendered. He gave up. And then suddenly he realized, nahi man, it's not my cup of tea. What am I doing here? So there also you should not blame others. You are not a small kid to choose right or wrong. You should have your choice, and that much intelligence should be developed. तो आप नहीं बोल सकते हो कि किसी ने फोर्स करके मुझे इस सिचुएशन में डाला. Nobody will take that blame. It is your mistake that you chose to be there. Okay, that is not the topic of the discussion. Topic of the discussion is यही संस्पर्श जब होगा दुख योनेव एवते. It is going to lead to misery. You may say that I will not be attached, but then activity of that sense pleasure, and sex life is something that once you do it, it is unrestricted. To put a क्या बोलते हैं इसको बांध त्याला घालण्याचं just difficult. It is such a gushing water. It is the current of that sex pleasure is so much. I gave this example long time ago. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur writes about this in this one of the verses. He says in Dhayato Vishan Pumsa, he gives commentary. There he says that this river of the lust is a very deep river, and this river of the lust has a very strong current. Like if you go to Rishikesh, you will understand the current of Ganga. Like you take bath, and then next mug, agar mug हाथ से slip हो जाता है, within seconds it will go to at least 200 meters within second. That fast is the current of Ganga. So similarly, the current of this lust is so strong. Within a moment, person will be completely bewildered. And in that bewilderment, person will go in what level and what direction we don't know. We see the example of Bilomangal Thakur. Bilomangal Thakur, his previous life, his father is dead. Everybody is crying. He being an elder son, he is supposed to do the funeral of his father. And he is remembering a prostitute on the other side of the river. And he is saying, I want to enjoy her. Everybody is cursing, shouting, yelling, requesting, begging, but he's saying, no, I don't care. I want to go and do and there is a heavy, flood to the river. He jumps into that flood, catch hold of something, and then crosses, and then he realizes it was a dead body on which he crossed the river. And then he crossed that river, he went, and then he was knocking the door of a prostitute. She said, I'm not going to open door in the dead night. It's raining heavily, it's flooded, I cannot open. So, he thinks that I'll somehow go and jump inside the house, and then he catch hold of a rope, and then he goes, and then he jumps inside. And then, she prostitute comes and see, Are, kaise aaya upar? So that was a dead snake, which was hanging on that wall, and then he caught hold of that dead snake and went. He's so bewildered, he did not understood what is he doing. He's traveling on a dead body, his father is dead, his own, such a close person, everybody is cursing, everybody is, sabke nala naava thevta hai. And he's going, catching hold of a dead snake and crossing. And then he says, I have come to enjoy you. And she says, if you would have given so much love for Vishnu, if you have loved Vishnu so much, and if you have done all these endeavors for Vishnu, what not you can achieve? And then he realized, oh, it's my spiritual master who is speaking through this prostitute. And then he completely becomes renounced after that. And after the becoming renounced also, there are chances of bewilderment again. So he was traveling towards Vrindavan, and then there was a water reservoir where ladies were filling the water pots. And then he sees a lady and says that, Mother, what is the way to Vrindavan? And she shows the way, but as soon as he sees her, he was attracted to her. And then he started following her, and then he follows her till her house. And then, great sadhu has come who is traveling to Vrindavan. So this lady's husband, he receives him. But please come inside, let me serve you. How can you serve you? Please tell me, whatever you want, I'll give you. So he promises that whatever you want, I'll give you. So this Bilomangal Thakur, who is a renouncant, who has already gone through experience in his life, says, I want to enjoy a wife. I want to enjoy your wife. Now, those times in Vedic culture, if sadhu is promised something, it's not fulfilled, we will be destroyed. That was a fear, or we should promise, whatever promise is given, should fulfill. So this man, he says, okay, fine. And then he goes and requests his wife that, he is requesting for enjoyment. You should give him enjoyment. And then Bilomangal Thakur goes inside, and then again those words of prostitute reminds it that, if you would have given so much love and attention towards Vishnu, you could have attained Vishnu, who is the Supreme Person of Godhead. So there is this recap of that particular words. And then, he says, please take out your hairpins. Give me those hairpins. And then he takes the hairpin and plucks his eyes with that hairpin. So these eyes are the cause of this bewilderment. And he plucks his eyes completely. And this wife, this lady got bewildered, she comes out. And then he comes, fall at the feet of this lady and beg forgiveness, and then travels to Vrindavan. So the point is that bewilderment, samsparshaja bhoga, dukkha yone avete, it is going to lead to misery. So we really need to check what are we doing, how are we doing, what are we watching, what are we leading to, what are we eating. Everything should be, you are what you take in. So we have to really check, we have to really block all those things which will put us in bewilderment. Our tongue, our eyes, our nose, our ears can bewilder us. For a lady, I don't have that Subhashit now. There's this Subhashit which says, the eyes of a man are bewildering and the ears of a woman are bewildering. And that's why, the dog-like man, he's just watching a beautiful woman and trying to enjoy. And the ladies, they get attracted towards a person who sings nicely. Like, Hiran also get attracted towards the music. So it is said that women are like Hiran, they also get attracted, their ears are always attracted towards the music. And that's why in our history of ISKCON, all the singers, all the kirtaniyas are caught by Nikati aste maya jhapatiya dhare. So as soon as Krishna bhuliya jiv bhoga vancha kare, as soon as that kirtaniya is forgetful of Krishna and he is enjoying, Krishna bhuliya jiv bhoga vancha kare, he is trying to enjoy, nikati aste maya comes and sit next to him, jhapatiya dhare, and jhapat leti hai. So let that maya not jhapto upai our dear devotees, and that's why help each other to grow, not to degrade. एनएस यही संस्पर्श भोगा दुख योने वयते आद्यंतवंत कौंतेय नतेषु रमते बुधा. An intelligent person does not take part in the source of misery which are due to the contact with the material senses. O son of Kunti, such a pleasures have a beginning and end, and so the wise man does not delight in them. So this Adyantavanta is also very important to know that such a sense pleasure has beginning and end. How many of you remember the gulab jamun which you ate 10 days before? Khalas nahi. Okay, whatever time. Last time when you ate gulab jamun? How many of you still have that taste on your tongue? 3 दिन पहले. You still have that taste on your tongue? So Adyantavanta Kaunteya, that it has a beginning and it has an end. The taste is only till here, that pleasure. As soon as it goes inside, the pleasure is gone. Similarly, it is about sex, it is about eating, it is about any kind of enjoyment. That is a momentary pleasure. It has a beginning and it is going to end soon. It's a short time. But for that short time, so much endeavor is put. So much endeavor. Give a pleasure to that lady, give gifts, share our time, share our resources, share our house, share what not. That's why you should not marry, right, Prabhu? Yes. So even if you marry, we have to understand what? We have to be asaktatma, not asaktatma. So we have to be saktatma. Okay? So we have to be unattached to the material pleasure. So Adyantavanta, anything in this material world which is giving any small pleasure, it has a beginning and it has end. So ehi samsparshaja bhoga, because of the sparsha, the material sense pleasure, bhoga, dukkha yoneva evate, it is for sure it is going to lead to misery. Adyantavanta, it has beginning and end. So that's why he kaunteya nateshu ramate buddha, one who is steady mind, sthira buddhi, is never interested. Ramaman kabhi nahi karta hai usme. In fact, Arjuna's not fighting this war was also a sense pleasure. And Krishna says it is lust only, O Arjuna. This is your lust not to fight this war. So that's why Krishna is directly indicating to Arjuna that you are attached to your own thought process, you are attached to your pleasures of this material world. This is nothing but a lust. So come out of it and fight this war. Amusi Bharatarshava. Okay, let's go ahead. Prabhupada writes a nice sloka here. Ramante yogina ante satyananda chidatmane iti rama padaneshu pade nasesu param brahma abhidhiyate. The mystic derives unlimited transcendental pleasure from the absolute truth. Therefore, the supreme absolute truth, the personality of Godhead, is also known as Rama. Rama means, what is the meaning of Krishna? No, you had something else. Krishna means all attractive. So similarly, Rama means, Allah means Almighty. Rama means all pleasurable. Okay? कोणता? यही संस्पर्शजा भोगा असायलाच पाहिजे. बोला. Yes, so please be Buddha. नायम देहो देह भाजाम न लोके कष्टान कामान अर्हते विद भुजम ये तपो दिव्यम पुत्रकायेन तत्वम शुद्धेत यस्माद् ब्रह्म सुखम तु अनंतम. ब्रह्म सौख्यम तो अनंतम, ब्रह्म सौख्यम जो अनंत है. My dear son, there is no reason to labor very hard for sense pleasure while in this human form of life. Such a pleasures are available to us stool eaters, hogs. Rather, you should undergo the penances in this life by which your existence will be purified, and as a result, you will be able to enjoy unlimited transcendental bliss. Okay, my dear sons, the pleasure is available even to a dog and hog and donkey and elephant and whatever. It's the human being has a much, much, much higher pleasure, that is being in transcendence, connection to the God is the biggest pleasure a human being can enjoy. So let's enjoy that pleasure. Okay, let's go ahead. Haha, very nice. Verse number 23. Sense gratification, verse number 22 is sense gratification equal to misery. And then by misery, so the misery comes from the desires to enjoy this world. So what are we supposed to do with our desire? Tolerate. So this verse is about tolerating agitation till when? Till end of our life. So we have to tolerate agitation till the end of life. Yesterday I was hearing Prabhupada class. In that Prabhupada class, Prabhupada was mentioning this particular. Rajeshambhu also almost similar thing he mentioned. That nobody in this world is free from lust. Everybody is going through everybody has this anartha called lust in the heart. But then there are people who tolerates this agitation and goes on. And there are unrestricted people who does not have any yesterday's Bhagavatam Prabhupada was talking about. That nirbandha nahi hai. There is no nirbandha. There is no bandhan. And because there is no bandhan, people are unrestricted. And because of this unrestricted thing, people are just going on. So if you learn to tolerate, which you have been doing for a long time, that you have to do throughout your life. The agitation need to be tolerated. Verse number 23. Shaknoti haiva yasaudhum shodhum praksharira vimokshanat कामक्रोधोद्भवं वेगम सयुक्त स सुखी नरः सयुक्त स सुखी नर, सुखी नर बनना है ना, तो उसके लिए बिफोर गिविंग अप दिस प्रेजेंट बॉडी, बिफोर गिविंग अप दिस प्रेजेंट बॉडी, if one is able to tolerate the urges of the material senses and check the force of a desire and anger, he is well situated and is happy in this world. So if you are able to tolerate, you are happy. I have heard this philosophy from young generation of ISKCON, where they say, प्रभु जी कितना ना ये मत करो वो मत करो ऐसा बोलते हैं, और फिर दबा के रखने के लिए बोलते हैं, and then suddenly उसका वॉल्कन इरप्शन हो जाता है, और फिर वॉल्कन इरप्शन हो जाता है तो फिर वो कुछ भी करने के लिए बोलता है, I'll do this that and no, we have to tolerate. If you can tolerate, if you can control, Bhagavad Gita is saying you are going to be happy Nara, you are going to be really happy. So there is a way to tolerate. That's very important. What like it is said that there are Vegas which need to be tolerated. Hare Krishna. There are 6 Vegas which need to be tolerated. And there are 6 things in life which we don't have to tolerate. We have to release it. Hunger, no need to tolerate. Thirst, no need to tolerate. Clearing, no need to tolerate. Passing water, you shouldn't tolerate that. You shouldn't say that I'll control it. And what else? Thirst, hunger, stool, urine, and this is Bhakti Shastri class, not Brahmachari class. There are 2 more things. Okay, fine. There are 2 more things which we should not tolerate. We have to release it. उसके लिए टॉलरेट करनी, बट देन 6 Vegas we know that we have to tolerate. हाँ, क्या है गोविंद? What are those 6 things? सर्च कर रहे हो ना? I thought you are searching. Okay, so 6 Vegas to be tolerated. In that, here it is said, Kamo Krodhat Bhavam Vegam. That Kama Vasana and Krodha, they are Vegas, which need to be tolerated, which need to be controlled. A right shake has to come. If there is no right shake post, if you don't stop it, then it is unrestricted. So if somebody really wants to be happy in the life, he has to learn to tolerate. Where else Krishna talks about tolerance? मात्रा स्पर्शास्तु कौन्तेय शीतोष्ण सुख दुखदा आगमापायिनो नित्य ताम स्थितिक्षस्व भारत, ताम स्थितिक्षस्व भारत. ये भारत, learn to tolerate, you will be happy. Here also it is said, कामो क्रोधो भवत वेगम सयुक्त स सुखी नरः. That nara, that purusha will be very, very happy and sukhi. So check your desires. Are we checking our desires? No, we are not. As soon as we start checking our desire, we'll be self-realized. We'll understand where am I going wrong. We have unlimited, unrestricted desires. No check and balance, no control, no tolerance. Just coming, and we are just trying to fulfill. ये भी करूँगा, वो भी करूँगा, वो भी करूँगा. No. That is a foolishness to run behind everything. It is a duty of a transcendentalist to try strenuously to control the desire and anger, kama and krodha. Very interestingly, Prabhupada writes desire as kama. So many times kama is understood only as lusty sexual activities, but it also is about desire, to enjoy. Okay, verse number 24. काय? Sleep and sexual urge. With remaining 4 things. Impossible. Shastras will never say that. जे मनी वसे ते मोबाईल दिसे. जे मनी वसे ते स्वप्नी दिसे असं म्हटलं जातं. सॉरी प्रोजी, तुमच्यासाठी नव्हतं. Verse number 24. Okay, go through the purport.
If one wants to make steady progress on the path of self-realization, he must try to control the forces of the material senses. There are the forces of talk, forces of anger, forces of mind, forces of the stomach, forces of the genitals, and forces of the tongue. One who is able to control the forces of all these different senses and the mind is called a Goswami or Swami. Such Goswamis live strictly controlled lives and forego altogether the forces of the senses. Material desires, when unsatiated, generate anger, and thus the mind, eyes, and chest become agitated. Therefore, one must practice to control them before one gives up this material body. One who can do this is understood to be self-realized and is thus happy in the state of self-realization. It is the duty of the transcendentalist to try strenuously to control desire and anger.
काय? Chest become agitated. Maybe there is palpitation, heartbeats increases. Okay, next. Brahmabhuta stage. Brahmabhuta prasannatma na sochiti na kanshati samas sarvas. What is it? Okay. Yonta sukha. Yo anta sukha. Sorry, 1 minute. Yo anta sukha antara. यो अंत सुख अंतरात्मा तथा अंत ज्योतिरेव यः स योगी ब्रह्म निर्वाणम ब्रह्मभूतोऽधिगच्छति ब्रह्मभूतो being self realized ब्रह्म अधिगच्छति he attains achirena अधिगच्छति. Heard this word sometime? Achirena adhigacchati? Where? Achirena adhigacchati. He quickly attains. That is about knowledge. Shraddhavan labhate jnanam. In that verse, this particular word comes. Achirena adhigacchati. He attains peace immediately. One who is knowledgeable, one who accepts knowledge with Shraddha, attains peace immediately. So adhigacchati is attains. Huh? One whose happiness is within, who is active and rejoice within, and whose aim is inward, is actually the perfect mystic. He is liberated in supreme and ultimately attains supreme. Rasavaja rasopasya. Yeah, prasadam adhigacchati. Nirmana moha nirahankara chu. Yeah, the Shanti Radhigacchati is also right. Okay, so one can attain peace easily, one can attain supreme easily. So this is also a verse about higher taste. One has to attain a higher taste. As soon as one attains a higher taste, Govindas, he will be completely free from all material sense pleasure. Okay, so attaining the higher pleasure is very important, and one should delight inward. One should take happiness within is very important. Taking happiness within does not mean he is selfish. Taking happiness within means he is not bewildered, he is not agitated, he is not disturbed by any external or internal changes. He is equipoised. One whose happiness is within, who is active, rejoice within, and whose aim is inward, is actually the perfect mystic. He is liberated in supreme, and ultimately he attains supreme. Purport: unless one is able to reach happiness from within, how can one retire from external engagement for deriving superficial happiness? A liberated person enjoys happiness by factual experience. He can therefore sit silently at any place and enjoy the activities of life from within. Such a liberated person no longer desires external material happiness. This state is called as a Brahma Bhuta, attaining which one is assured to going back home, back to Godhead. Golok Vrindavan. Jai Ho. So next is a sadhana for attaining the liberation. Lavante Brahma Nirvana Mrushaya Shina Katmasha Chinnadveda Yatatmana Sarvabhuta Hiterata. So we heard sufficiently about becoming Atmarama, becoming self-realized soul. So there is a, attaining this state of, inward delight or Brahma Bhuto Adhigacchati, to attain this Brahman or Brahma Bhuto Adhigacchati situation. What we are supposed to do is, those who are beyond the dualities that arise from doubt, whose minds are engaged within, who are always busy working for the welfare of the living entities, and who are free from all sins, achieves liberation in the Supreme. Not much. One has to do what? He has to be free from the sins. He has to do the welfare activity for others. Welfare activity does not mean that go and distribute some clothes, some food, but welfare activity is giving Krishna consciousness. It's not philanthropy. It's about giving this, helping others to attend this stage, welfare of others. So freedom from sin, freedom from dualities and doubts, dvandva is completely free from dvandva. China dvaidvaha. Then mind beings engaged within, yatatmanaha, his mind is engaged within and working for everyone's welfare. Sarva bhuta hitarataha. सर्व भूत हित रत, सर्व सभी जो लिविंग एंटिटी है उनके हित के रति में, उनकी हित में वो रति रखता है. ओके, सो दिस इज व्हाट वी हैव टू डू टू बिकम सेल्फ रियलाइज सोल, टू अटेन ब्रह्मन, ब्रह्मभूत स्टेज. वेरी सिंपल, नॉट मच, राइट? फ्रीडम फ्रॉम sin, then welfare activities, jivadaya, and then what he has to do is mind is completely engaged within yatatmanaha, name ruchi, he develops so much name ruchi, and freedom from dualities and doubt, dvandva vimukta, he is completely free from dvandvas, dualities. Simple. Tomorrow all will be self-realized. So sadhana for attaining the dualities, or the sadhana for attaining the liberation, Brahma Bhuta stage, is these four things: freedom from sin, freedom from dualities, doubts, then welfare of others, and what else? No, ho gaya, free from sin ho gaya. Mind is engaged in within, yatatmaha. Then verse number 26, one can attain liberation soon. You can read purport later. Kama krodha vimuktanam yatinam yatachetasam abhito brahma nirvanam vartate viditatmanaha evidinat. Those who are free from anger and all material desires, who are self-realized, self-disciplined, and constantly endeavoring for perfection, are assured for liberation in the Supreme, is in the very near future. So that's why Prabhupada used to very confidently say that this Krishna consciousness will take person back home, back to Godhead. This Krishna consciousness will give perfection to a living entity in this very life. For that, what is required is sincerity, seriousness, and no ulterior motives, by which person will attain this stage of Brahma Bhuta Adhigacchati. He can attain the position. He can be at the level of going back home, back to Godhead. Okay? So one can attain liberation when? Soon. So that's what he said. In coming near future. He is assured for the liberation in the Supreme in coming near future. किसके बारे में बोला ये? Those who are free from काम क्रोध विमुक्तात्मा. काम क्रोध विमुक्तात्मा, free from lust and anger, material desire and anger. So lust, anger are the gateways to hell. That's why we have to free ourselves from this hellish situation. And the last verse for today's study. We'll read some part of the purpose again later, but let's complete this section. Now, this particular verse is talking about Ashtanga Yoga, and then comes the last verse of the chapter, that is peace formula. So, this particular chapter talks, it spoke about karma and jnana in the beginning. It established this particular point that karma is very important. Which karma? Nishkama karma yoga is very important. Then while doing a nishkama karma, knowledge is also very important. After exploration of that knowledge, we also studied that how one should be free from the material sense pleasures. And with that, he should be free from kama and krodha. If somebody is free from kama and krodha, it is very easy for him to attain the position of Brahma Bhuta. And once he is attaining, he is free from all these things, he can follow the Ashtanga Yoga practice, and with the Ashtanga Yoga practice, he can attain Samadhi, attain Supreme. So, you can say the procedure to attain liberation is spoken here as a Ashtanga Yoga. Verse number 27. Sparshan krutva bahirbhayyam sa चक्षुषेवान्तरे भुवो प्राणापानो समो कृत्वा नासाभ्यन्तरचारिणो यतेन्द्रिय मनोर्बुद्धि मुनिर्मोक्ष परायण विगतेच्छाय भयक्रोधो यह सदा मुक्त एव सः. Shutting out all external sense objects, keeping the eyes and the vision concentrated between two eyebrows, suspending the inward and outward breath within the nostril, and thus controlling the mind, senses, and intelligence. The transcendentalist, aiming at the liberation, becomes free from desire, fear, and anger. One who is always in this state is certainly liberated. This is a stage of a yogi who is following Ashtanga Yoga. What he does is that all 9 holes of his body he completely closes. No air flows from his body. All the prana, there are 6 kinds of prana, vayu in the body, apana, udana, all those vayus are controlled. And then the breathing, through breathing, everything is controlled. No vayu flows inside, outside. And then, he's sitting in that yogi posture, meditating on Supreme Brahman or maybe Paramatma. And then the soul departs from Brahmarandra. The skull breaks open and the soul departs from Brahmarandra and attains Brahman stage. So this is what the whole procedure is explained, that, shutting all the sense object. So he's free from all these desires and enjoyment and krodha and everything. He's situating himself in the Brahman. He's closing all external things. He's away from all external things, sitting in the position. And the posture is also explained. His eyes are pointed towards the tip of the nose, half closed, and controlling mind, senses, intelligence. This is how a transcendentalist aim. Okay, this is the process of Ashtanga Yoga. Yama, Niyama, Pratyahara. After this, asana, pranayam. After a pranayam suggestion is this position. Then there is dhyana, dharana, and samadhi. So this is the Ashtanga Yoga procedure by which a person a yogi is liberated and he attains the position of a Brahman. Okay? Hare Krishna. So we'll stop here. No, we'll complete the last verse also. So the chapter is completed. Bhoktaram yagya tapasam sarvaloka maheshwaram surdam sarvabhutanam gyatva mam shanti mrushyati. Premcharpu, read translation. Give him mic.
Shutting out all the external senses, object, keeping the eyes and the vision. A person in fully consciousness of me, knowing me to be the ultimate beneficiary of all the satisfied and austerities. Sacrifices and austerities, the Supreme Lord of all the planets and the demigods, and the benefactors and well-wisher of all living entities, attain peace from the pinch of material miseries.
So the verse number 20 till verse number 26, Krishna has spoken about Jnana Yoga and mainly Sakama Karma Yoga. And now in the verse number 27 and 28, Krishna spoke about Ashtanga Yoga. And now he is introducing here Bhakti Yoga. He is telling that devotional service is much easier than Ashtanga Yoga. Ashtanga Yoga is tedious. And that's why if somebody wants to have peace in his life, he should know three things. Bhoktaram, Yajna Tapasam. Of all the yagyas, of all the activities we are performing, the results will obtain, and those results ka enjoyer is Krishna. Bhoktaram Yajna Tapasam, that Krishna is the enjoyer. Sarva Loka Maheshwaram, he is the proprietor. All three lokas, everything is his property. We हम लोग एक building बनाते हैं और we put this, what is it, the proprietor, and the proprietorship is like, I am that proprietor. Govind Nivas. Yeah, Govind Leela Nivas. Govind Leela Nivas. So I am the proprietor of that. Or whatever. Somebody owns a car and they're like, Meri hai, maine nahi chhodunga. And all of that. So the proprietor is not we. Sarva Loka Maheshwaram. All three lokas. Not only one Brahmanda. All the Brahmandas. Not only all the Brahmandas. Material world and spiritual world. Everything is owned by who? Ishvara Parama Krishna, Sachidananda Vigraha, Anadiradira Govinda, Sarva Karanaka. He is the one who is the owner, the proprietor of everything. So first is that we are not the Bhokta, we are not the enjoyer. Krishna is the enjoyer. Second is we are not the proprietor. Krishna is the proprietor. Bhoktaram Yajna Tapasam, Sarva Loka Maheshwaram, Surudham Sarva Bhutanam. He is sitting in everybody's heart and he is a ever well-wisher of every living entity. Surudham Sarva Bhutanam. We try to be well-wisher of someone, but we cannot be completely well-wisher of someone. It is only Krishna who is the well-wisher of everyone. Or a compassionate soul like Prabhupada, who is ever well-wisher of every living entity who is on this planet. And that's why that mercy, that compassion of Prabhupada should be spread through the book distribution. That's very important. Anyways, Surudham Sarva Bhutanam. And one who knows this, Gyatva Mam, Shanti Vrushyati, he can attain peace. हमारे जीवन में peace क्यों नहीं है? Because we think I am the proprietor, I am the enjoyer, and then I am the well-wisher of XYZ. As soon as we think that I am the well-wisher, proprietor, enjoyer, finished. The peace is gone. There is only misery. Dukkha yoneva evate. Okay? Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram.